Yes, guys, we're back with Rio Presents, and we've got so much to talk about. We've got Joel Beya on the show. We've got Steve Howson. The usuals are right here. The trio are back together again. And before we get into it, I'm out in South Korea, man. Loads of content coming on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, notifications on, tell a friend, and make sure you get involved, yeah? Because get in the comments. There's superstars. There's the best players you've ever seen play football playing in these games. And we've got them live and direct on the channel, man. So make sure you stay tuned and you get involved with us, man.
Rio, as a Mancunian, I feel like before we get into anything else, I have to bring up about the sad passing of an absolute legendary Mancunian, even if he was a blue. He was an absolute icon of everything, actually. We lost Ricky Hatton this weekend. Have you got any memories of him?
Yeah, I mean, condolences to his family. It's so sad to see a young man just pass away so suddenly. I can only think back to memories. I mean, me, Wayne Rooney and Wes Brown travelled out to Las Vegas to see him. I mean, that's how much of an impact he had on the British, the English public, 100%, and we were part of that. The time we got off, we went and followed him out to Las Vegas. Wayne actually carried his belt out for that fight, and we were in the crowd. And yeah, and we spent some time with him after the fight in the hotel, just having a laugh. Just like all lads from similar background, just having a laugh, sitting in there, just taking a mick out of each other. He's just one of the guys and a real people person, salt of the earth type of character. And it's a shame, obviously, that he's been taken so soon. So as I said, condolences to his family, and I wish them well.
I want you both to tell me what you think about this. These are Amorim's quotes when asked about his system, okay? So he said, I won't change my philosophy. If they, meaning in Ineos, want it changed, they can change the man. I saw a lot of teams with 5 midfielders playing here, meaning at the Etihad, who suffered more than us. What's your thoughts when you hear those comments?
He ain't messing about. He ain't mixing his words. He's I am who I am. If you don't like it, get rid of me. And I'm going to stick to my guns. So if we're sitting here thinking that he's going to change anything, I think we're sitting here just like pissing in the wind.
I don't like the fact that he keeps referencing, you can get rid of me if you want. That seems to come up every week. It's mad because people are like, oh, he's stubborn. You show me a good manager that's not stubborn. If every single manager listened to every single bit of criticism, they would change their system every single game. Like, you have to almost be deluded. If you don't believe in your system as a manager, how can you convince the players to believe in it?
You can.
You can't sit there and have someone's go, oh, I don't think you should do that, and then you change.
Steve, it's not, but it's been since Christmas, by the way. And also, you have to also accept that you're in a different league. Just because you have to make adaptations, right, doesn't mean that everything's lost. You might go, at this stage, I don't have the players we need right now, or we're not at the stage where I should be getting him to play in this particular system. Let's get some wins under our belt. Let's do what we have to do, and then we move forward. You're playing with players that don't even understand the system still.
I'm not sure that's the case. I can say that some of the players aren't a good fit for the tactical system that we're trying to do, and some of them aren't a natural fit for them. But you're adding 1 + 1 = 7 to say that the players don't understand it or don't know what they're doing. That's not the case. They're just not either good enough or a tactical fit for that system.
The one to worry about is Cisco. He ain't getting no chances, man. He ain't getting no opportunities. There's nothing being created for him. That's the concern. A new striker comes in the football club, they get in a team, you've got to think about creating chances for him, getting him on the end of things. He's got to think about getting on the end of things as well. And that's got something I think has got to be looked at and be fixed quick. Otherwise, I don't want to think about what it could turn out to be.
Is it even a system issue at the moment?
Listen, it's depressing watching United like that when it happens. Like, listen, we've been in teams where we've been beat by City, but we missed a few chances here and there. Don't even create proper chances, but we missed a few chances here and there. But the way we allowed them to get in and get goals and get opportunities was just like, it was weak. It was powder puff. It just lacked anything. And listen, I thought in the first half we pressed them quite well, and then we had possession at times. Got in their final third, there was zero creativity. Without Bruno, you look at it and you're going, who else is going to create something? Mbumo, yeah, but there's no real like guile, and you're going, we're getting into the final third and thinking, no, it's powder puff. We're not really going to break them down. And I mean, we had a shot from Sesko with his left foot, with weaker side. Like he might as well have passed it wide. But I don't know. Defensively, I thought today was probably the most concerning thing. I thought I've been quite like complimentary about the defenders and the way we've defended it at times this season. But today, I thought it was like a hot knife through butter at times. It was too easy. Players getting through. Luke Shaw today, I thought was the worst I've seen him this season, 100%. Harry comes on and doesn't make it any better. And you look at it and you think to yourself, I'm looking at it back yesterday and I'm going, can we be better than what we were last season? I think that's a genuine question. I hope we can. But like I said before the season starts, I'm more hopeful than anything. I'm not sitting there convinced and going, yeah, we're going to be this, we're going to do that. I'm not in chat right now with any chest. I'm not in any chat right now with my head held high, punching messages back and forth. I'm trying to be quiet and stay out of the firing line. Like, that's where I'm at right now. And that's not a good place to be as a Man United guy.
Steve, were you happy with the starting lineup? Seeing Ahmad as the 10 and Bruno staying as the 8. Was you surprised, good surprised, or not?
No, I wasn't happy with the starting 11. I thought this was a perfect opportunity when you've got no Cunha to move Bruno a little bit higher, where I think we might have even spoke about this last week, where his natural tendencies to want to press and to want to chase every ball like a puppy, they don't become a negative to the team. They actually become a real positive to the team. And he can put pressure on that front line. And then Bruno, Sesko, it's a forward line that's going to be aggressive and it's going to do what it can do. But being that aggressive isn't going to leave the gaps in behind. Bruno does not have the defensive instincts to play as a double pivot. To play in a double pivot, you've got to have so much more intelligence. You can get away with playing in a free because there's just that extra man in there that's always going to help you and it's going to clog it up just that little bit. When there's a 2, you've got to be absolutely flawless and you've got to be aware. You can't have people running off you. You can't press out of your position. You can't even step up 5 yards because the passing lane behind you is going to open up. And Bruno just doesn't have the instincts to do that. So no, I wasn't happy with it. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to go with someone like a Casemiro and a Ugarte, and Bruno ahead of them, where his tendencies aren't going to hinder you. You have to go to the Etihad and be smarter. You can't go to the Etihad and think, we'll just stick it on him. For starters, you've got nobody that's going to control the tempo of the play in that team. No one.
Steve, do you think Bruno was the problem?
No, I think he was one problem. But it was one problem that we've been going on about for ages, and there was an easy solution to it that we didn't take today. So I'm annoyed at that. I don't think he was the problem. But the first goal, the first goal he gets run off. And annoyed me at half-time. You might not have heard it. At half-time, the Sky pundits was going on that City have exposed United system. They did nothing of the sort for that first goal. Doku's beat Luke Shaw 1v1 with a great bit of skill. He's then gone to the byline with it, and he's tried to cut it back, and it's ricocheted off Ugarte. That's not a systematic failure. That's a bit of unluckiness, right? Then he's clipped it towards the centre of the box, and Bruno's been run off. There's nothing systematic here. 2 individual errors and 1 bit of bad luck. That's what that first goal was. The second one was a bit more like that. We've pressed and been carved open. Yoro's not been strong enough for the first ball. And then Luke Shaw's not got anywhere near Erling Haaland. I don't know if anyone realised that Erling Haaland's a pretty good striker. You need to get a little bit closer to him than you did. He just allowed him to run off him.
But in the derby, he just ain't smelling the danger. He's not covering the other players. He's not getting his arms across his body across Haaland. He's reacting too late. He's not smelling danger at all. And so when I look at it, I don't think it's a system thing, the way that these goals. Listen, that goal where O'Reilly nutmegs someone, goes into Foden, he pops it round the corner and runs the other side, and then all of a sudden it's through for Haaland. That's great football. You've got to sometimes say in the midfield area it's great football, but defensively, from a Luke Shaw standpoint, I thought it was poor, and it could have been avoided. But I just think there was too many mistakes defensively. We got opened up far too easily, and like you say, Haaland's not no mug. He's a striker who wants chances, wants to run in on goal. We actually gave him the opportunities that are best suited to the way he plays. Running onto things, facing up the goalkeeper. That's Haaland's game. And we actually gave him those opportunities and said, listen, have a go at this. Go on. And we get beat 3-0.
I thought the gaffer has to take some responsibility for this. I think he got not just his selection, but his tactics. You can't just say, I want to play football this way. You got to find a way to win. That's your job.
Rio, you know, when you look at this type of game, right? Do you reckon it's time that we start asking the manager for more flexibility?
Yeah, I understand that. The most concerning thing for me was seeing the fans leave the stadium early. That will be the bigger concern for me. I'll be looking at that going, you know what? Our fans are great. Our fans are unbelievable. We're going through an absolute nightmare at the minute, right? And we have been for the last every years we've been sitting here talking about it, right? But they turn up in their thousands. They follow the team all over the world, right? And they're always there. And they're not a team a fan base that I look at and go, look at them walking out early. But today, you looked at the terraces today, I had mates in the terraces sending me pictures, sending me voice notes like disappointed, devastated, gutted, embarrassed. And yeah, that'll be a thing that I'll be looking at and going, well, we need to turn this round. And I sat in hope in pre-season when I was there, and I spoke on the pod before about, you know, I hope we can be better. And I didn't think I'd be sitting here right now in a position I am now, sitting with as in the same frame of mind in terms of hope. I thought I'd be a bit further down the line. I thought there would be a little bit more kind of belief, a little bit more substance to what I've seen on the pitch to make me go, you know what, actually, we could do a bit better this season. But if I sit here right now and you said to me, where would Man United finish? I said probably 6, 7, 6, I'll be happy with it this season. That's looking like a long shot at this moment in time.
I remember getting onto you, Rio, when you said top 8. And I was just like, how could you say that? You know, earlier on in the season, you were like, this is where we are.
Yeah.
It hurts though, man. Like, even from someone that's known the history of the club. Even, for example, when you look at the reaction from the fans, do you reckon the reaction was proportionate to a defeat against City, or do you reckon it's over the top? What's your thoughts when you see the reaction?
I don't know. Well, listen, I don't know. Steve, you probably heard it. Well, they're chanting Amorim's name through the game. They're chanting his name. They're singing. They're supporting the team. That's not a question. But then, obviously, it gets to a point where they're sitting there going, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm not accepting this. And some of them are walking out, or a load of them are walking out. And listen, I think Man United's fan base, along with some other clubs in the Premier League as well, they're a loyal fan base and they're a sensible fan base. But I think many fan bases would have lost their rag right now, and there would have been that seats would have been getting pulled out of the stadium, thrown at the chairman, thrown at the players in Man United's position from where they've come from. And it says a lot about the Man United fan base, but there's only so much a fan base can take. And what they haven't shown is a consistency to perform. They've got to get a level of consistency. It's even scraping a few results. Scrape a few results, get through them. And I think that's where the manager sometimes goes wrong. I think sometimes I want to hear an honest manager. I want to hear him talk, and I want to hear him give us the real truth. But sometimes you've got to play the game a little bit. Fergie was the best at it. Sometimes it's like you're spinning a little bit of a story just to make sure you get through to the next phase.
Yeah, so I think it's all well and good when someone comes in and they're honest and stuff like that. But when you're not winning, it's a problem. Steve, I was going to ask you, like, I saw Kobbie Mainoo come on, and I know you're a massive fan of Kobbie Mainoo, and he seemed like the closest thing to a shining spot.
I think he's probably one player that Amorim's spoken about him a lot lately, and there's been a lot of attention around what's going on with Kobbie Mainoo because, one, he's the only academy player in the squad, and we've got that 80-year record that nobody wants to be responsible for. I'm glad Amorim actually addressed it in a press conference this week, actually, because at least he's aware of it. I hope it means that he's going to maintain it. Because Kobbie's one of the only players in the squad that actually fits that criteria, and because he is a talent, I think he's getting a lot of attention. And obviously, towards the back end of the window, he wanted to go out on loan because he didn't think he was going to play. And the fact that he is behind the captain who's never injured, never gets dropped, never gets subbed, and Amorim came out and said, I see him as Bruno's replacement, or he's competing with Bruno. It's completely understandable why Kobbie wants to go, yeah, man, it's a World Cup year. I've got a chance of getting in the international squad here. I ain't doing it if I'm going to sit on a bench. I completely empathise with why he would want to go out and play football. But at the same time, I also empathise with, this is a player that we saw come into the squad late last year because of the injury that he got. We didn't really see him have a season anywhere near as good as he has had in his breakout season, probably because of lack of pre-season and that injury, but also because he was trying to adapt to this new system where, like all of the midfielders at the football club, he ain't a natural fit for any of those positions. Bruno's not, Ugate's not, Casemiro's not, Mainoo's not. If we was playing a midfield three, you probably got a fantastic midfield three out of those four. But as a two, someone's compensating their game a little bit to try and fit into it. Now, I think Mainoo could be the one with time, with patience and a bit of mentoring that could actually go and be a fantastic player in Amorim's system. I don't know how long that's going to take, and I don't know when them opportunities come if he's competing with Bruno in that position. And I think they're completely different players. But he is the one where who have you got, United got, that's going to put their foot on the ball and get 80, 90, 100 passes consistently? Like a little bit like what we used to get out of Carrick. Someone that's just going to take the ball, calm things down, and then move it forward into the right areas at the right time. There isn't a single player in our squad that has got the ability to do that outside of Mainoo. That's not Casemiro's game. Casemiro's game's quite forward, quite direct. It's not Ugate's game. It's certainly not Bruno's game. Who is it? Like, literally the only person that can do that in our squad is Kobbie Mainoo.
I played in the game. We played in the Icons game, right? And that's what I felt like with Carrick. I get the ball at the back, and I get pressed by a forward, and Carrick just appears out of nowhere, from behind the curtain. And it's just like my release button, boom, into him. And it goes out the other way, or it comes back to me, punches it back. Like, we don't do that. Like, I don't want to go on about our time, but it's just, there's no I totally agree with Steve. There's no recycling of the ball, go in one area, come back out the other way. Like, there's no feeling of control. The word control is not one thing that you'd put alongside this Man United team. It's like, we'll score, you score. You get a chance, we get a chance. And you can't win a lot of games like that. It becomes a lottery. And that's where I think we are at the moment. The ball goes up to the forwards, there's no real care. There's no real quality sometimes. And I'm like, come on, man. We must have more than that.
You know how Steve always accuses me and Arsenal fans of, being too high when we're high and too low when we're low. Is it fair to say that all the positivity has worn out because of the bad defeat against Man City?
I don't think it's just Man City. I think it's an accumulation of performance and a couple of results. Don't forget Grimsby. You look at it, and it's just like these things build up.
Why are you making that face, Steve? When I asked Rio the question, what's that about?
Because you're talking about being too high and too low.
From an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, for starters, the glassest of houses. But you lot think you're winning the league after one win and then think you're getting relegated after one loss.
I think Madueke is the best winger in the league.
You wanted him sent back to Chelsea the other day?
Nah, that weren't me, bro. That one weren't me.
You literally just give me the prime example of what we're talking about there. Where we're sitting here with 1 win in 5. We've just lost the Manchester derby. You got clarted by King Grimsby in the cup. We made Fulham look like King 1970 Brazil. We took a last-minute penalty to get through Burnley. And you're wondering why we're so low. And by the way, I thought celebrating a last-minute winner against Burnley was a crime. I've just seen Liverpool this weekend. 10-man Burnley. Know what I mean?
Different position. Rio, how would you...
Sorry, just on that point, Joel. I just want to give the haters, the naysayers who were hammering Madueke, the star boy Saka is out, and Madueke has gone over to that right side and said, guys, I'm going to give you something a little bit different. There's a different sauce coming, but I'm going to show you something. and he's delivered in a game, and the Arsenal fans are now salivating over him and going, oh, we love him, he's our saviour. Them fans need to come out now, the ones who were the naysayers and negative guys need to come out and apologise and say sorry.
Apology written.
Yeah. How dare we treat one of our own like that?
Do you know what they've been saying, Rio? Because you know Eze had a madness as well. He had a great game, yeah. So we're calling him Madueke now. Madueke. So you got Madueke on the right. Eze. But I was going to ask you back to Man United, yeah. There's all this complaints about, oh, okay, this needs to be done. And this is, you know, we all have opinions here. But how would you set up the team differently? What would you do?
Look at it and just think, Pep Guardiola, I'll never forget, I interviewed him years ago, right, when he first came, after his first season, and he said second balls. I never knew about second balls, he said, and I had to find and produce a way of playing with certain type of players who could deal with second balls. Because in La Liga, second balls isn't a thing. And that just showed me that, like, even the best managers have to adapt. I'm sitting here now and maybe we're like going back on what I said before and going, there comes a point where you do have to look at it and go, maybe I can't be as stubborn as I was, and maybe I need to look at it and maybe make a few tweaks. No wholesale changes. I don't agree with that, because he's been employed for a reason, the way he plays and the way his team perform. But some tweaks in this system, I think, to get the best out of them and to get some results consistently is something I think the manager needs to look at before it gets too late.
But does this not compromise him and what Amorim's been saying since day one?
Yeah, but you can change. There's no shame in that. There ain't no shame in changing a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's only ego that stops you changing, and pride. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of men die from their pride. If he goes in the press conference and, oh, you changed it, you said you never change it. So? I have, what?
It's the Premier League.
We want 3 points.
Steve, your thoughts on this whole compromise stuff? And
I did a video this week looking at Glasner's system. I watched way too much of Crystal Palace for my own liking, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, but I clocked what they do. And I think I understand what Crystal Palace do, because on the face of things, Crystal Palace play a 3-4-3. It's the exact same as Amorim. Why are they having more perceived success with that same, at least formation, if not system? Because the system's different. But it's different in a couple of ways that isn't anti what United are doing. It's a little bit of what I said earlier. You bring somebody in that can dictate the play just a little bit. Someone that can
Wharton.
Put the foot on it, get 70, 80 passes and bring a level of control to the play. That's one thing. That's what you do in possession. But I think the difference between the two systems is what Crystal Palace do out of possession. Firstly, they set up traps. Their wing-backs press hard, and they're allowed to press hard because they've got everybody else in the midfield is set in a position. Manchester United's midfield goes so high, so fast, and because we're attacking with that forward 5, when the midfield 2 push up as well, you've literally just got a 40-metre gap between wherever the ball is starting to transition from to the back 3. It's insane to me. The main difference, whereas United presses a 2, both the double pivot, both go at the same time. Crystal Palace, one will go and put pressure on the ball, but they don't get caught out in the same way that United do. And one will just tuck in. And it feels so stupidly simple to me to just make that tiny little adjustment. Instead of both of us going, can one of us go and just delay? Because the first deer defending is delay, right? Go and slow that progression of the ball down rather than steaming and get rolled and get beat. You're no good to anyone. Rio used to have a thing, didn't he? Hashtag stay on your feet, right? Do you not remember all that? I remember that because it's really good advice for a defender. For anyone that's trying to defend, is just be in the way. Virgil van Dijk has made an entire career out of just being in the way. He doesn't engage. He just runs back. He's in the way. It delays and if he can delay, think about this, right? Let's say it's Kobbie Mainoo, and the one little trait that he has to pick up to play midfield is he doesn't rush in, but he goes and delays. If he goes in and delays as the first point of contact, anytime United getting transitioned on, if he does his job and everybody else reacts and transitions back and gets the shape back, then United are going to be so much harder to play through and to beat. United have to work so hard to go from the edge of our box to the edge of the opposition box. We have to have skill. We have to have a little bit of luck. Someone's got to drop a shoulder, do a bit of magic. Do you know how easy it is to get from the edge of the opposition box to the edge of United's? It's 1 or 2 passes. It's pathetic.
If you're not playing in a team, like this, you're talking about Kobbie Mainoo there, right? If he hasn't, at some point, gone to Casemiro, gone to Bruno, gone to Harry Maguire, reached out to Darren Fletcher, reached out to Michael Carrick or someone in that position as well, and gone, what were you doing when you weren't in the team? When the manager took you out of the team, put you on the sidelines for a period of time, what were you doing to get back in the team? If he hasn't asked that question to any of those guys, you ain't in the right mind frame, man. You're not in the right frame of mind to be able to put yourself in a position to get back. Because you're an inexperienced person, inexperienced player. You need help. You need to be open to help. You need to ask. And it's not easy. I keep saying it's not easy for everyone to ask. Not everyone's built like that, I know that. But you've got to put everything to the side and go, you know what, man? I'm out of the team right now and I want to get back in this team. Man United is my club. This is my boyhood club. I've been in the academy all the way to the first team. Can you help me get... What's the mind frame of a person in this position? Because I'm struggling.
Rio, I want to bring it back to Erling Haaland. Now, obviously, we saw Haaland terrorize the defenders, man. If you, of course, who you are, and your status, your icon at the club, even just as a one-to-one person, what advice would you give those defenders on how to come up against Erling Haaland? Because he just looked like he was bullying him.
Erling Haaland scored 2 goals that, if I showed you his most common type of goals, they were them. Running onto things. Running in behind defenders. Like, you can't give him that space. Like, like Luke Shaw, I thought, was at fault for 2 of the goals in that sense, right? At least 2 of the goals, right? And you can't allow him to run in behind in that sense. You can see play developing. You can see, you forget about seeing where Haaland is. The first thing you do is you go, I know where he wants to go, so I'm going to be there. And listen, it doesn't always work. It's not always perfect. I know that. I made loads of mistakes in these situations, right? But Haaland isn't really someone like you look at and go, I'm going to leave him space in behind. That's the last place you're probably going to leave him. It's like Henry. Played against Henry loads of times. I don't know how many times Henry actually running behind me, if ever. Because that's what he wants to do. But he might have got the ball deep and done different things to hurt us, but he weren't going to do what he loves to do. That's what you've got to take away what they love to do as much as you can. You got also, sometimes you've got to hold your hands up. Erling Haaland's got 15 goals in his last 10 games. So it ain't like this is like an isolated situation against Man United. 15 in 10 for club and country. 50 home Premier League goals in 50 Premier League games at home. Like, he's not a mess about. So as much as I'm sitting there critiquing the Man United defenders, the geezer is blitzing teams week in, week out at home in the Premier League for Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, they asked Pep Guardiola earlier this week, who's the best striker in the world? And his response, emphatically, was, I wouldn't swap anybody for Erling.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. Only one player.
Who?
Kylian Mbappe right now is the best player in the world, and people are not talking about it. I'm sorry, Steve. You can make as much face as you want. The boy is on fire. Absolute fire.
I'll take Kylian before Haaland.
Yeah, and that's the only player right now.
They're different players. They're totally different players.
No, but if you had a choice of 2, who are you taking?
If I'm Pep, no, he makes perfect sense for the system.
Liverpool. Horrendous. Poor. Lacking creativity. Nick a result. It's the stuff of champions.
That's what happens when you spend £466 million. That's what you expect, mate. That's what I'm saying.
450 plus million, you expect them to batter teams week in, week out. Not nick results. Burnley away.
You are actually right with that, but I expect them to win. End of the day, right? If they win the league, which I still believe we have a chance to do, yeah. If they win the league, so what? They've spent 466 million. You got to win it. 1-0, 2-0, 5-0. You got to win it.
Joel, 460 odd million in this window, right? And they're the first side in Premier League history to win 4 consecutive games by scoring goals in the last 10 minutes. They're absolutely scraping through.
Do you know what's scary?
I love how you think you lot have still got a chance to win it. Glorified Stoke over here in a corner.
Steve, did you see us on the weekend? My word, that has to be right one of the most encouraging performances that I've seen right on an Arsenal pitch. Yes, they got a new manager. Everybody thought there was going to be a manager bounce back, but we showed that our squad depth is serious. No Saka, Odegaard on the bench, Declan Rice on the bench, right? Madueke, Eze's first appearance. Gyökeres still learning the league. No problem, bruv. Got the job done easy. Zubamendi, party who, bruv?
Yeah, you're talking about Slot spending 400 million. Lego had spent $1 billion, mate. He's got naught to show for it.
See, we're focusing on this season now, all right? And even if we do focus on the last 2 or 3 seasons, we're still doing what we're still doing all right in the league. No black clothes today, mate. You know what it is today. Did you see Noni Madueke and Eze running the lines? What did you think of it?
I've given them props. Don't get me wrong, I've given them props. But until you go to Liverpool and try and win, I can't have it.
By the way, did you see our new centre back, Mascara?
He done well against. Is it Liverpool? I think he come on against as well. He's good, man.
Rio, 13 million from Valencia, robbery, absolute.
I like him a lot. But anyway, guys. We've got the Rooney episodes coming out soon. Rio Meets coming out, dropping in about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. Make sure you stay tuned, guys. We've done another one in South Korea with an absolute legend, certified legend. And there's a few bits on there I think will be getting passed around WhatsApp groups and different types of social media platforms. So make sure you stay tuned, notifications on, and make sure you tell friends, man. And you know what? Have I told you we've got a new partner coming on board, guys?
Nah. Talk to us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a new partner coming on board, man. I don't want to give too much away. You know what I mean? I've been wearing their brand for a few years now. So, yeah, just watch your space.
Okay. Also, I know that you said you played in the Icons game. Like, how did you play personally? And did you play? Because it's a rarity to see you kick a ball on the field nowadays. How did you play?
Yeah, proper sick note, usually, Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put in a 45-minute masterclass. That's what I've done. You know what I mean?
45 minutes?
Yeah, 45-minute masterclass. Let people know that there's still a little bit in the old dog yet.
Is there a video for that coming out?
Yeah, we got loads of stuff, man. We got I've done some challenges with some of the team here. We've got an unbelievable bit from loads of the players and the icons here picking between Rooney, Drogba, and Henry.
No way.
Like, who's the best? Your top 3, 1 to 3. Give me who's the best, and these guys give some wicked answers. We've got a Rio Meets with an absolute legend, like I told you before. We got some keepy ups. I went on a helipad, man, high up on one skyscraper, and the sweats I was on was crazy. So yeah, man, look out for loads of stuff. We've got so much content coming through. So just make sure you stay tuned, guys. And yeah, man, we'll see you next week.
Joel Beya, Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand, signing out. Peace.